Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm just sharing my presentations. Should I go ahead and share it, Prakash?
Yes, sir, you can share it.
Prakash, you're able to see my
Yes,
presentation?
yes, I
Yeah.
can able to see here.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the wonderful opportunity. I think I'm talking in front of a great set of people who have been teaching us. Without uh, you, we are not here actually. Though we have been in the industry, and it has been a great privilege that I got an opportunity to just present my knowledge, whatever I have gained in the blockchain. So it's an interesting journey. So I thought of sharing with all of you. So today's session, I just wanted to focus on why. Many of us know about what is blockchain and how the blockchain works, but why we need a blockchain? Why? What is the need for it, and what is the history behind having that blockchain? So this is something which I got fascinated when I connected the dots. Now, when I say that I connected the dots, I just have to date back to uh, Jesus Christ age. So that's how I wanted to get this connected. So my presentation will cover about why money, how money came into existence, and where are we right now, and why are we heading towards cryptocurrency, and what is the need for it. So that's one area that I would be focusing on. So this is about the agenda on the cryptocurrency. And next, I would like to focus on how do you start a company? Say you wanted to start an idea or a company on a blockchain technology. How do you do that? That's one thing. So before we understand how do we start a company, we just have to understand why so many cryptocurrencies. We talk about Bitcoin as one of the platform, and we have Ethereum as another platform, then Litecoins as another platform. So why so many blockchain technologies or so many platforms where we are talking about the cryptocurrency? So uh, my presentation would cover that, and we'll try to see how the cryptocurrency world can be associated with the fiat world that we have as on today. When I say fiat world, it is all about dollars, rupees, and whatsoever. So that's what I call it as a fiat world, and we'll see how we can correlate that to the cryptocurrency world. So this is a comparison which will help us to understand what we have to, how do we correlate things. And second, the company which I talked about, how to start a company and what kind of privileges that we have on the cryptocurrency world. And third, Lakshmi would be looking at from how do we implement this company using a smart contract and IPFS and Ethereum related platforms. So this is the agenda that I'm going to cover. Okay, so let me tell a Kuti story. Probably this is one thing which I am more fascinated about. So can we connect all these things? So I talked about there is an institution, uh, and people love to be part of this institution. And here I have another word called gold, another word called silver. JP Morgan is another word. Lincoln is another word. Lincoln money, which is which is usually called as a greenbacks, is another one. We talk. John F. Kennedy is put, and Satoshi Nakamoto. Of course, we all know about it. Now, all these things have a connection. So my Kuti story is going to talk about how these disconnected items that I have put in this PPT is getting connected. So that's a talk that I'm going to start with. So when we date back to the barter system, So it is usually you give some item to another person, take another item from the other person. So a farmer gives his grains to the weaver, and a weaver gives the cloths to the farmer. So that has been the traditional way of doing the business. It's a barter system. Now, in the early ages, there was one law that came into picture when they said that, okay, if you have to be part of a institution and and want to participate as an individual, as in the group, so you got, to the institution you have to give gold and silver. Okay, so I don't wanted to mention specifically which country and all these things. I just wanted to create it as an institution, let's say. So institution can be treated as a church, or it can be treated as a association, which is a group of people. So these institutions wanted gold or silver, or they usually started with the silver, saying that if anybody want to be member of our institution, people have to give silver. So silver started getting a lot of value. They call it as half shekel, so which usually rates to around 8 grams of silver or 14 grams of silver over then. So people were looking for silver, and silver was on large scarcity. Okay, so what was happening is that people have started collecting silver. That is when they say that, okay, silver has a value, and it's a virtual value that has been given to the silver, and silver's demand started increasing. And the reason the demand started increasing was that people started trying to um, collect that and keep it with them rather than putting into the market. So the silver started gaining a lot of value. Now, people thought that, okay, now I'm giving the silver to the institute, and then I'm becoming part of this institution. That means silver has a value. I can use it for trading as well. And that's how the silver first came for trading or exchanging certain items. And then what happened was that, okay, silver is too much in my house, so I can't keep all the silver at my home. I can't carry all the way to a different place. So I need a way to simplify this. So people started looking at some of the rich people in that area and said that, okay, we want to give the silver, and wanted to take a lighter version of it, so that what the rich guys in that area did is that they took the silver and gold and then said that, okay, this is the receipt that you have for the silver that you have with me, and anytime you can come back with that receipt. It's like a bond. You give the bond, I will give you the silver. So now what was happening is that, to a peculiar thing, people came, gave the silver and gold, took the bonds, but they never came back to get the silver or gold. The scenario that was happening was the people started using the bond for trading. So they gave the bond in exchange of any items that they wanted to get, because they know that if the bond has a value, and they can take it to the bank and convert it into silver or gold any point of time. So that is when a kind of a virtual banking came into picture. Now this rich guys in that area started thinking, hey, people are not coming to get the gold from me or the silver from me by exchanging the bonds that they have given. So they had an idea that, okay, you come and give gold, and instead of one bond, I will give you two bonds. So that means the amount of money or the amount of bond that is there in the market has been inflated with no reasons or no backing up of gold and silver. So one of the bank that was trading is like JP Morgan is one of the name that is very historically told, but JP Morgan is also a binami to all these things. Now slowly this trading system became very popular, and bank were just printing the bonds and giving to the people without having the sufficient gold with them, and they used for trading. And these people started becoming rich and rich over a period of time. So today also, if you look at any banks, banks give, if say, for example, they give a 1 crore loan, they are eligible for giving 1 crore loan. That means that in capacity, they just have 10 lakhs with them. So that means they can give a loan up to 10x. So now, how do they get this money from? So probably we'll have to look at it from quantitative easing part. I'll not touch upon that. That's another topic. So this is how the inflation started happening. And when Lincoln came into power, he wanted to renovate the complete America. When it came, so there are two parts to the USA. When we talk about the northern part, it's all about the people who were holding this kind of bonds. They were rich people, and the southern part, when you look at from USA, it's more to do with the farmers and workers who go to the bank and get this bond exchange. Now, when he wanted to develop this entire south and give a lot of facility for the farmers, he didn't have sufficient money, so he has to go to the bank and get this done, get this loan from them. But unfortunately, the loan interest were too high, and they were charging close to 11 percentage of interest, which was something not in his bucket. So what he thought is that he introduced a new currency. So now this introduction of new currency came in, which is called as a greenbacks. And the greenbacks become very popular in South. People started using the greenbacks, and he distributed the greenbacks depending upon whatever the wealth the South guys had it, and then it became a normal money that was getting used in the South. And North was very furious. Why the people are not coming to us? They are not giving us gold or silver to do anything. So that then they saw that the greenbacks was becoming popular. So that is one thing that was also reason for Lincoln being shot. And John F. Kennedy also come into the same picture. He wanted an independent currency for himself. That's when he was also in the same boat. So now I'm not talking about go back to the facts and all that, but I'm trying to connect the dots, how things came into picture. Now, the banks were utilizing this money for a different purpose, but they didn't have sufficient security to do this. And you can see that the same incident happened in 2008 when the Lehman Brothers collapsed. They just started giving the money, and nobody were able to give the money back to the bank, and they shut down. So that means my money, which I give to the bank, is at high risk. How do I avoid that? So that is when the blockchain came into picture. Had Satoshi Nakamoto had been revealed, probably he would not be there. This is my version. He would be shot dead with what happened to John F. Kennedy or Abraham Lincoln. So this is my perspective. I am just bringing my perspective in another way of looking at it, that why Satoshi Nakamoto do not want to reveal himself. So if this currency comes into picture, most of the times people will start trading using this currency, and the value of actual dollars or any other currency in that particular country will go down. So that's the reason. One which I saw is that, okay, so many of the country do not want bit currency to be part of their trading system. Of course, today it is getting accepted. It becomes a need of the hour, so that people become highly secure in that place. Okay, so this is a small view of my way of trying to connect the dots from that age to why today we have Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin. Now, let me put another view to it. This is a story which ends, but we have much to do with ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. So let me connect these things. These words may look very strange at this point in time, but let me put it in a different perspective. So let's say I wanted to I wanted to start a company. How do I start a company? Now, the company that I have to start in the traditional world is that you fund your own company and start operating it. It's 100% stake is yours, and you start working on it. Or you can take money from your friends and start working on it. That's You may have to return it with no interest or a minimal interest. But when it comes to the venture capitalists, they will ask for shares. An IPO, of course, you have to give the shares to the public. So these are four ways. One, your own money. Other is from your friend circle. Third is from the venture capitalists who are interested in funding a company based on your ideas. Fourth is the IPO. You go to the public and ask for the money, for which you need to have a very good image like Reliance. And then there is a point they believe you and then give it. But in the crypto world, the whole things comes with the three things. One is called the initial coin offering, initial exchange offering, and initial security offering. So we'll discuss more about it. So we saw a story about how the money came into picture and why Satoshi Nakamoto is still hidden, and how crypto need came into picture in 2008. Now we also talked about one of the thing called ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. These are the terminologies that are getting used for starting a companies, whether it is a your own private limited or what you wanted to start as a public limited companies. So I'm giving an analogy. In the crypto world, it is called ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. So there are two parts to it. Now we'll try to connect it with the next slide. So let me start with a small question. Now, when we talk about demand versus supply, we just have to understand one more thing: that why the dollar price increases against Indian rupees, or sometimes you see that the Indian INR starts increasing against dollars. So this is, let's understand the phenomena why this is happening, and then we will come to know why do we need multiple currencies, or why there are so many cryptocurrencies, and how these ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs get launched on different currencies. Let's take a simple example of a tomato in the market. If the tomatoes are is a huge quantities available in the market, then what certainly happens is the price of the tomato decreases. Now, when it is less, the price of the tomato increases. Of course, I can't relate with tomato today. It's with onion. Certainly, we can see that fluctuations happening whenever it rains. The price goes up. So it's a demand and supply versus supply things. Now, let's bring the same analogy to our market. Now, somebody has to buy buy our currency. That's INR has to be bought. Then if somebody is buying this INR, then the value of INR starts increasing. Let's see that INR as a commodity. Let's not treat it as a currency. I'm saying this, let's look at it as a commodity. Now, who will buy? Why will they buy INR? Suppose, say, for example, a company from Europe or US wants to start start in India. They, of course, cannot bring this dollars and euros into India and start trading in dollars and euros. Certainly, they will have to convert the dollars and euros into INRs. That is when these companies from US and Europe will buy INR by trading dollars. Now, if more and more companies comes from US and Europe to India, that means there will be a lot of buying in of this INR. That means they will buy the Indian currency a lot. That means the value of Indian rupees starts increasing. And that's why the value will be, you see that there is a fluctuation in the value. So now, how does this happen? This is usually happening through the foreign direct investments coming in, and they wanted to start a company. They trade the USD or euros for the INR, and then suddenly you see a fluctuation in the currency happening. Now, when this fluctuation starts happening, you will see that there is a good amount of economic growth that is happening. But why will a company come to India to start a business, and why don't they go to South Africa or African countries? This decision is based on certain attributes of a country. So the attributes can be: the political system is very stable, the security is high, there is a process which is very easy to start a company or close a company, labor laws are flexible or good to proceed with, and there are a lot of laborers available, which is easy for to start a business. So there are certain attributes for each regions based on which these companies come to a particular region and start a company. So if India needs to attract FDIs, so they have to bring in a lot of policy changes which will attract. Now let's take the same example to the crypto world. Now I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, and I have the Litecoin. All these things are there. Now relate this, all these things to INR, USD, Euro. You just have to relate this to Bitcoin, Litecoins, and all that. Ethereum, Ether. So these are nothing but the currencies. Now, when I put this currencies as say, I want to attract a lot of people on a Bitcoin. I want to attract a lot of people on Ethereum. How do I do that? There are attributes to that blockchain. The attributes can be that wide usage of that particular coin, currencies, one thing. Second, it can be with respect to the consensus algorithm. What is a consensus algorithm that is getting used, and what is the speed at which the blocks are getting created, so that the transaction speeds are very high. And is that there are sufficient amount of applications over there which I can use it. So these are some of the attributes. As I said, attributes for attracting the FDIs for indirect investment, like labors, policies, stable government. There is also certain properties to the blockchain, which is nothing but your consensus algorithms, wide usage, and a lot of applications that are there on that particular platform. So this is the analogy that you can think of. Now, so where will they go? If I wanted to do something where application or a blockchain application which I want to develop, that means I am going to start a company over there. And this company, I have to decide on which platform should I choose. Okay, so Bitcoin is something like predominantly getting used. So I will launch my cryptocurrency exchange for my application using the Bitcoin. So it can be simple as selling your drawings, and I wanted to use Bitcoin on a particular for my applications. So that is where the choices comes from. Now, how it is done? Probably when it comes to the security, it is done with the tokens. Tokens, you just have to treat it as, okay, like a share of a company. Now if somebody wants to be part of my company, I'll give them a tokens and take some fiat currency, convert that into a cryptocurrency, and use it in that particular platform. So this is how it is coming up when it comes to the crypto world. Now each currency, or each Ethereum or a Bitcoin, you can quickly associate with a currency in the fiat world. Okay, so I'll just move on. Now we talked about the history of money, how it came into 2008 with Satoshi Nakamoto's blockchain, and then we talked about how to start. What are the terminologies used in the crypto world on when we want to start a company? It's nothing but initial coin offering, initial exchange offering, and ISOs. Now, I also talked about where they will be going and launching their companies. Is it based on the Ethereum platform, or is it on the Litecoin platform, or is it on the Bitcoin platform? And why they will choose those different platforms is what we have seen over here. Now, third point, is that how do I get a crypto investment? I want to start a company. I have decided now. So the decision that I have done is that I will start it on the Bitcoin world. Now, even if you start a company in India, you can only invest in the INR. Probably, if you want a foreign direct investment to come in, there are a lot of procedures that will have an hamper. But in the crypto world, all these barriers are taken off. If somebody wants to start a company, a simple one, you just have to create a white paper and publish it. Now, what should be the white paper's content? It should be having a depth of your technical capabilities, clear representation of the problems, and a clear solution which helps the problem to be resolved. And you should have a credibility to demonstrate your leadership, how you will be implementing it and what kind of benefits the people will be getting it. And then you have to create a website to publish what you're going to do. In case you wanted to have the write-up for that one and need a support of any consultancies, I've given the link over here, which certainly helps in giving it. This is called the Hashcash Consultants. So they help in writing that kind of a white paper which can be published. Now, the second question that comes to us is publish a white paper. Now, where do I publish this a white paper? So there are certain places where you can easily publish this white paper. It's called Cointelegraph, Bitcoin.in, and Cryptoverses. And there are a lot of places where you can go and publish this white paper. And once you have published this white paper, you can write a smart contract for the same, and then you can publish it and you can start getting the funding in the currency that you wanted. Now, this will be given as a once you wanted to give a share to the people who are giving the funding it, then you issue them certain tokens. It's nothing but in the fiat world, you can treat it as certain shares that you wanted to give depending on the amount that they give. So once you have started it, when you want to start it, the ICOs, the initial coin offering or the initial exchange offering or the initial security offering, all follow the same process of crypto investment. There is no difference in the way you have to publish this paper. But as an individual, if you go and publish this paper, of course, if the ideas are very bright, then you will get a funding. So that is one way of attracting the audience or attracting the fund, which is nothing but an ICO, initial coin offering. It's a low overhead, not too many paperworks or nobody to back up. Your idea is the selling point. So if you have an idea which is great and it's very good, then you just have to go ahead and start an ICOs. Now, IEOs are nothing but there has been a lot of frauds that has happened in the previous years, where a lot of people started putting the ICOs, collected the fund, exchange the currency, cryptocurrency for the fiat money, and then absconded. You can't just find out who did it. That's another big drawback of this blockchain. And instead, IEOs is one which gives you a guarantee kind of a thing. Like it's like an BSC or NSE exchange that we have in India. So it's an kind of an exchange office which gives you a certification that yes, this person who is coming up with an ICO is a trusted one, and the IEOs are usually published as part of the exchange, and they have a backing of exchange. So here you can go. It's a little more trusted because there is an IEO coming into picture, which says that, hey, I'm going to give guarantee for this company and there is no fake people inside it. And certainly your money would not be lost. That's an IEO. When it comes to the ISO, S stands for security. Security is nothing but some physical asset that is associated along with your equity. Okay. It's more or less you take certain property, mortgage certain property, and you take the money. In this case, for the money that you take, you mortgage your properties or mortgage any of the assets that you will have, and take the money into picture, and then you start the company. That's more like an ISOs. So this ISOs are usually done with the big investors. So probably in another 10 years, we will see that even our lands are getting sold in the cryptocurrency world. So these are three differences, and just have given a comparison of ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. So if you have a strong idea, then ICO requires a strong idea. IEOs also require a strong idea. When I say the social cashier, that means if, say, for example, uh, um, uh, Azim Premji starts ICOs, probably people will start believing him because there is a strong social quotient for him. But as an individual, it becomes a little difficult. So you have to go with an IEOs. So the investors have high risk on ICOs because nobody else guarantee except the individual who has started this ICOs. But IEOs, the risk is low, and ISO, you have a property which is on your name, so you don't have much risk on that one. So the trust wise, ICOs are low trust. You have to do a lot of R&D before investing, and IEOs are high trust. There is a backing of exchange, so there is a less chance that the money will go down. But of course, the business ideas are not great, then certainly it will go down. And ISOs are something like you get a certain exchange. It's a very high trusted areas. So this is what uh, is the story about this ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. And I think I have covered most of it. So we started with a little story on how do we connect all these institutions, how silver came into picture, how JP Morgan came in, and how Lincoln and John F. Kennedy came in, and how Satoshi Nakamoto does is not getting revealed. This is all my conspiracy about all these things and my way of connecting the dots, and why many countries do not want cryptocurrency, because if that cryptocurrency comes in, then all these banking systems may undergo certain losses, which this big rich people were going through. Then we started talked about how do you compare the fiat world with the cryptocurrency world when you wanted to start different companies, ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. And then we talked about how a different Ethereum or Bitcoin comes into picture. I related with the different countries, how they attract the FDIs. And also we talked about how the INR goes up in value compared to the dollars. And that's how the Ethereum or a Bitcoin goes up in value. So more and more people starts developing application on the Bitcoin platforms or an Ethereum platform. Those two will go up, and many shops starts trading things on the Bitcoin. Then probably the Bitcoin value will go up. So that's exactly the strategy the US follows when they wanted to trade oil. Everybody has to go with a US dollar for trading oil. So that's why the oil prices, the dollar prices have suddenly gone up in 1960s. So if that changes, that trend changes. So if the oil giving countries change that, okay, I can take anything, any other currencies, then certainly the value of dollars will go down drastically down, which I think US never will take a step to do that. And if somebody comes in, then they, the way they treat. So this is and we talked about how to start a company, publish a white paper, and then get the cryptocurrencies, and where to publish it, and how to write a white paper. So that's what we saw. And I gave a difference between how to start different things, ICOs, IEOs, and ISOs. And we saw how they are differing with respect to the trust, and what are the key things that each one should have to make them available for the public. With the strong ideas, you have to go with ICOs, and IEOs strong idea plus you have to go with the backing of exchange, and ISO is backing of assets, which are usually done by the big organizations. So that's a short about it. Thank you so much. I think I will hand over to Lakshmi before I move on. I would be interested to take up questions if you have any. Prakash?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Any questions? If there is no questions, I can hand it over to Lakshmi.
The participants, do you have any queries? You can. Please check in chat. You have a query. So you can check in chat window.
So chat, okay. So the questions from Pradeep Singh was there is India having a policy for Bitcoin? This is one of the questions that I have seen from Pradeep. I'll just answer to that part. Of course, there was an RBI. RBI has clearly mandated that cryptocurrency is illegal trading, and there was a case against it, and that was won by the public. And I think it is early 2020, and the month of probably February March timeframe, that cryptocurrency can be used in India. That's not an illegal way of trading. Of course, not adaptation in India is very less, but certainly you can trade it if you have any accounts outside India. That's not going to be an issue at all. So it's not very far. The Bitcoin will become very much in use in another 4 to 5 years. Just you will have to wait and watch. And the wonder of Bitcoin or this kinds of platform is that you just can't blot it. Like the rich guys I was telling, instead of one bond, they were giving 3 bonds, though they don't have an equivalent gold. That kind of inflation just can't happen in this crypto world. So that nobody will go for a loss, and no exchanges will happen unless and until there is a sufficient check that is done on the transactions. So I see that, okay, this is not far away as long as politics doesn't stop it, but certainly this will come into picture. As of now, Bitcoin usage is not so much in India, but it will soon come, and it's not illegal to do that. Thanks, Pradeep.
Participant, do you have any queries?
Anybody? Okay. Thank you. I think the whole point that I wanted to bring in is that you would have certainly got why the dollar prices are increasing against INR or INR against this one. And you can correlate the same thing with the Bitcoin and Ethereum world. Why certain Bitcoin today is at 19K USD. Exactly some 6 or 8 months before it was just 6,000. So the adaptation always increases the value of the currency. So that's the pitch for today. And if you think you have an idea and want to start a company on cryptocurrency, then ICO is the best place to pitch in. And there are a lot of people who are looking for this kind of services where the smart contract comes in the play and can bring this ICOs into alive. So handing over to Lakshmi, and Lakshmi would be talking about the smart contracts and how that can be enabled with the IPFS as well. Thanks, Prakash. Thanks, team. I'm handing over to Lakshmi.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So my name is Lakshmi Narayana. I am from Srinivasa Institute of Technology and Management Studies, Chittoor. I am very thankful for carving out this time to and AICT also providing funds for so many colleges to conduct on advanced technologies. So we are very fortunate to utilize this one. So today I will explain DApp, how to create DApp for Ethereum blockchain platform using IPFS. So let me start share my screen, sir.
Yes, sir, you can start.
So okay, sir. So screen, is it visible, sir?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, thank you, sir. So today our topic is building blockchain API using Ethereum Solidity and smart contracts. So today's topic, I'm going to cover these topics: blockchain introduction, Ethereum, smart contracts, Solidity, Remix online tool, and blockchain DApp. So blockchain definition, maybe everybody, all of you know. So it is a simple example for the blockchain. It consists of a sequence of blocks. So each block connected to previous block, so that it is called as a blockchain. So block means each block consists of hundreds or thousands of transactions are combined together, and which are kept in a single block. So that's why it is called as a blockchain. So each block consists of hundreds of transactions. So this part is called as a group of transactions. These all transactions are combined together and prepared simple hash value for all transactions together. That is called as a Merkle root. So and this is a header. This is a simple definition of the blockchain. So blockchain actually initially invented only for the purpose of the cryptocurrencies, mainly Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a popular cryptocurrency. Initially, it is developed for that purpose only. But later on, the blockchain concept attracted for industry persons and research persons. So that's why blockchain not only used for cryptocurrencies and also used for many other real-time applications. So that's why I'm not concentrating on cryptocurrencies. Only I'm concentrating on how blockchain is useful for other areas. So blockchain, especially initially developed for cryptocurrencies purpose. Cryptocurrencies means sending money from one account to another account. That means each transaction consists of very small information, sender information, receiver information, and how much of amount has been sending. So each transaction consists of very less information. So blockchain stores always less amount of information in the form of transactions only always. So, but if you see for other applications, if you want to use blockchain, so other applications always may use either small information or huge information if you want to store for security purpose. So that's why the blockchains cannot directly used for storing large amount of informations. So that's why the concept come into picture IPFS. So IPFS that we will cover on next slides. So first we will see what is Ethereum. Ethereum is a decentralized blockchain platform, it featuring the smart contract functionality. So it is a decentralized blockchain platform. That means there is no centralized server like our Indian banks, any banking system. So there is no one administrator to control the blockchain. So it is a decentralized blockchain platform, and mainly it works based upon the smart contract. So Ether is a blockchain platform which it supports the cryptocurrency name is Ether. So Ether represented with ETH. Ether is a name of the cryptocurrency supported by the Ethereum blockchain. So after Bitcoins, it is the second largest cryptocurrency used in the world. First Bitcoins, and now second most popular one use Ethers, Ether cryptocurrency. So next EVM. So EVM is Ethereum Virtual Machine. It is called as a global virtual computer whose state is every participant in the Ethereum network stores and agrees on. And that means all computers in the Ethereum network have to agree on whatever computing by the EVM. So EVM is the runtime environment for smart contracts in Ethereum. So any participant in the Ethereum network can request or can send the transaction to the EVM so that the state of the EVM can change, and that change will be reflected to all the participants in the Ethereum network. So all the people in the network can able to see every transaction happening in the Ethereum network. If you compare centralized systems, centralized system only administrator can able to see all the transactions, but nobody knows. Uh, One customer don't know what other customers are doing the transactions. But in distributed systems, decentralized systems, so all transactions happening in the Ethereum network can be monitored and received by all other participants in the network. So it is happening through the EVM. So EVM is a global virtual computer which every participant can know the status of the EVM. So smart contract, first we will see what is a smart contract. So smart contract is a software program that is managed by peer-to-peer network of computers. So smart contract, the name it specifies, it is a contract. Contract means it is an agreement between the people who are doing the combined business. So that contracts are written in the form of software program that is called as a smart contract. So it provides coordination and agreement between the network participants without the need of the legal contracts. So there is no court to lawyers are required. Only smart contract is act as a lawyer or it is act as a court in between the network participants. So contract code is publicly available on the ledger. So whatever contracts are agreed between the parties, so everything is publicly available. Anybody, all participants can watch all the contracts. So smart contract code executes when an given conditions are satisfied to the smart contract. So whenever each condition is satisfied, or at least one condition is satisfied in the smart contract, then only it will going to execute. Otherwise, simply it will not allow to complete the transaction. So this is the smart contract. It is very, very important. Smart contract simply is a software program which consists of rules and regulations of the business and agreement between the participants. So for example, consider if you in banking, smart contract example means if you want to send amount from account A to account A must have sufficient amount to send to the account B. So if sufficient amount is not present, the transaction will not be completed. So for sending amount, we need to account A have to maintain minimum balance. That is the one rule to send the money to the others. Like that, any number of rules can be programmed using the software program that is called as a smart contract. So in order to use smart contract in blockchain, first smart contract have to be write in the Solidity programming language for Ethereums. So Solidity is a programming language like C, C++, Java, Python. It is also one programming language. But this programming language is especially used smart contracts for platform. So after writing smart contracts that have to compile, after compilation it will produce EVM bytecode. That EVM bytecode have to keep in a transaction and send the transaction to the EVM. So that EVM will assign one account number to our smart contract, and that smart contract is deployed into the blockchain ledger. So ledger means database. So this is the procedure of the smart contract. First we have to write smart contract. After compilation, EVM bytecode will generate. That EVM bytecode have to keep in a transaction and send it to EVM. Then EVM assign one account number for the smart contract. Based upon the account number only, so all other participants can send a transaction to the particular smart contract. So this is the smart contract deployment procedure. So this is the overall framework or architecture how the blockchain dApps can communicate with each other components of the dApp. So the bottom component is a dApp. So user always communicated with the dApp only. So this is the framework for usage of the IPFS for storing large amount of information in the blockchain. So as I told you, blockchain not supports to store huge amount of information. That's why we have to use IPFS. So initially I am sending large amount of information, whatever I want to store in blockchain, to the IPFS. So IPFS will return the hash value equivalent to the given input. So first we will see IPFS. So this is the IPFS. IPFS is mainly used for storing and sharing the data in a distributed file system. So it's arbitrary length of data as input and provides unique 256-bit hash value as output for the given file. So it takes any length of the data as an input, but it provides only 256-bit hash value for the given arbitrary length of the input. So input can be any length, but output is the same for any given input. So only output is 256-bit hash value. So no two have same hash value, even if at least one character is different among the files. So even if you give one extra space in one file, then it will give different hash value. So no two files or no two characters have same hash value. This is the advantage and purpose of the IPFS. So IPFS stands for Interplanetary File System. So smart contracts can be used for different purposes, from simple to complex applications. One is for economical transactions, for sending amount from one account to another account. Second one for registration of any kind of properties like land registrations and any properties. And in banking sectors, insurance, energy sectors, government sectors, telecommunications, music industry, art, mobility, education, and many more applications, there we can use smart contracts. So then come to Solidity. Solidity is a programming language, high-level language for implementing especially smart contracts for Ethereum blockchain. So smart contract is highly influenced by the syntax of C++, Python, and JavaScript. So if you're familiar Python and JavaScript, C++, then it is easy to understand the Solidity. So Solidity supports all the features present in C++, Python, and JavaScript programming concepts. That means Solidity supports data types, if, for loops, conditional statements, operators, so structures, arrays, all concepts of programming languages also supported in Solidity. So it has been designed to target the EVM, so Ethereum Virtual Machine. So whatever rules written in the smart contract, based on that our blockchain will execute without any deviation or any fraud or third party interference. See, mainly the purpose of blockchain is one one user can communicate with other user without any third party. For example, in most of the business, the third party persons will involved, but here no need any third party. That's why it is called as a peer-to-peer communication. So syntax of the functions used in Solidity is, it starts with the keyword function followed by function name and parameters list, and scope means public, private, and it return type. So this is the example of usage of the functions in the Solidity. Here contract is the keyword, contract name is a test, and function name get results, and scope is public view and returns integer value. Uint means unassigned integer. So this is the example how to use functions. Then Remix ID is important tool. It is the tool mainly used to write smart contracts and testing, for testing, deploying into the blockchain and for verifying. So why? Because once we deploy a smart contract into the blockchain, that cannot be modified later. For example, if it have any mistakes in the smart contract, then that can be used by the attackers, so that users will lose their money or their data. So that's why before deploying smart contract into the blockchain, first that need to be tested. So for testing purpose, the Remix IDE will be very much helpful. After testing everything, if it's working perfectly, then only we have to finally deploy into the blockchain. So Remix IDE has powerful module for testing, debugging, deploying of smart contracts and much more. So the website remix.ethereum.org. So now directly come to blockchain DApp. So this is the DApp we created. So first it will ask you to choose the file to upload into the IPFS and then to the blockchain. So first here browse button is there. If you select any one file, any so then this file will submit to the IPFS. So I will explain through this diagram. So this is the important architecture. So if you send any one file to IPFS, IPFS will return hash value of corresponding file. That hash value we have to keep in a transaction, and the transaction send it to W3 library. This W3 plays very important role to connect it to the blockchain. So W3 main plays major role to connect a DApp to the blockchain. So the transaction sent it to the first smart contract. Smart contract will verify if all the rules and regulations satisfied by the transaction, then that will be sent to EVM for the execution of the transaction. So once it is successfully executed, then the transaction confirmation results will send back through the DApp through W3 library. So W3 library provides mediator for communicating and to connect it to the blockchain. And if you want to implement a DApp, these are the four libraries very much helpful. One is React, MetaMask, Web3.js, and Truffle. So these four are very useful to implement, to prepare the DApps. So MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet. Ethereum wallet means if you want to be part of Ethereum blockchain, first you have to create account first. So that account management, everything done by the MetaMask. Second one is React.js. React.js is a JavaScript library for building the user interfaces quickly. Then Truffle. So Truffle is very much important for for development and testing framework to the Ethereum development. Node.js is a cross platform which allows JavaScript to run outside of the web browser. So Node.js can be useful to write either client program and also can be used to write server program also. So that's why it is called as a cross-platform JavaScript runtime environment. Then W3.js. W3.js, it allows, as I told you, to communicate with the blockchain through any Ethereum node. So these are important tools used for developing the DApps. So after you selecting the file to upload into the blockchain, then if you press a submit button, then this is the text area. It will show you corresponding hash value written by the IPFS and the transaction initiated and sent to the blockchain. So everything is happening in background. Now we will see practically how it will. So for the DApp development, these are the development environment. Memory, at least we need 8 GB of the RAM at least to work with blockchain. And operating system Ubuntu is preferable, but in Windows also it supports. We need editor, either Visual Studio or any other editors we can use. And MetaMask, Node.js, NPM is Node Package Manager. So libraries we use W3 and React.js libraries. And IDE is a Truffle for writing and testing the smart contracts. And database is IPFS and Ethereum blockchain. And Ganache is called as a virtual blockchain. And for testing this blockchain, we used Ropsten test network, and programming languages we used JavaScript and Solidity. So this is overall Ethereum blockchain network. So the top row is called as a blockchain, which consists of sequence of blocks, and in between the smart contracts act as a mediator through EVM. So bottom one is called as a clients. So clients can initiate the transactions that will be initially received by EVM will process through the smart contract. So smart contract program is this is the example for smart contract, how it will be look like. So first line is called Pragma Solidity, and it will tell you version of the Solidity language. And it starts with the first line contract, then contract name can be anything. So here I given pick a contract, and memory variable I used memhash is a variable of string type, and I used here two functions. One is set function and get function. Set function is used for setting memory hash value to the memory hash variable, and get function will return the hash value. Okay, this is example for how to write the smart contract. And these are the different links in order to use. These are the links useful for developing of the DApps. So now I will show practical implementation of the DApp. So already I started. So when you run the npm run start command, npm run start command, then automatically it will show you the link. So if you click this link, then it will open. Then it will open our blockchain DApp. So here it allows you to choose any one file to upload. So you can choose any file. So any file from the browser. For example, here I'm choosing any one photos, or you can choose any document also. For example, so I selecting this one paper. So after choosing, then you press the submit button. So whenever you submit the button, then the file will be sent to the IPFS. Then IPFS will return hash value. That hash value keeping a transaction, and the transaction sent to the blockchain. So we need internet connection and blockchain connectivity through the MetaMask. So this is called as a MetaMask. So initially we have to create an account through MetaMask. So when you create account in MetaMask, so it is the account number associated with my account, and you need some minimum balance of the ethers for performing the transactions. So if you does not have initially, then you can ask, then we can get from other accounts with free of cost. So here I submitted. So this is my account number. in the MetaMask. So choose any one file. Okay, meanwhile, I will explain how to use the remix. So if you type remix Ethereum DE in Google, it will show you the link of this one. So here you can type first. So this is the simple smart contract for testing in the Remix IDE. In Remix IDE, after typing your smart contract, then you have to compile then it will ask you to compile. So after compilation, so with if any no errors are present, then automatically it will show. So then it will show compilation after completion. So after compilation, it will generate the bytecode. And this is the functions used get function, some of equivalent all the compilation. So once compilation is over, then we have to deploy. So for deploying, we have to press this button. So deploy means the smart contract hash value keep into the transaction and the transaction send it to the Ethereum blockchain. So for sending any transaction, we have to pay some transaction fees. The transaction fees is called as a gas. So gas means transaction fees. So here deploy button is there. Press this deploy. So if you press deploy, automatically it will show deploying details. So here successfully deployed, so it will show the tick mark, otherwise it will show X. So if you press this one, it will show you. Okay, here it is showing the published peg contract metadata. That means successfully it was published in the network. It is showing transaction details. So this is the transaction hash value. Then contract address. Then gas value. So gas value means this is the transaction fees which we are willing to pay for this. Deployment details. So once the deployment is over, we have to test it working. We have to click here. So it will show list of deployed contract here. So if you press this, then what function you use, it will show set function and get function used in this contract. So it will show you set and get. For example, first we have to set the hash value, then we can retrieve that hash value. For example, now I uploaded a file to IPFS. IPFS returns the hash value. That hash value I am sending to the blockchain. For example, consider 0x123 and Sairam. Consider this is the one hash value example. So if you press set, then this value will automatically initialize it to the this file hash variable. So set. So now this is also treated as a one transaction. So now set function executed, and this is the transaction. So for this transaction, I press. So if I press the get function, so automatically 0x123 Sairam returned. So that means our function executing successfully, the set and get functions are working properly. So here I give an input, and whenever I press get function, the whatever I given hash value that I am going to retrieve, it is showing here 0x1234. And I will show you like that one more. Okay, yeah, start once again. So in order to start, so to start DApp command is npm run start. So it is starting the server, starting the development server. So it will take some time. See Remix IDE, this is the how to use. So it allows you to type the Solidity program or smart contract program, and you can compile by pressing this button, and you can deploy by pressing this button. Deploying means that smart contract deployed into the blockchain so that we can use that smart contract to perform our transactions. So once it is deployed, then we can test our deployed smart contract working properly or not. By here we can test by using like this. So this is how to use the Remix IDE for testing the smart contract. So now we will see how DApp will work. So now it is asking. So it is DApp open. Now we have to choose any one file to upload into the blockchain, and then have to press submit button. So okay, now it returns blockchain uploaded file can view from, see here, it returns a hash value. It returns hash value. You copy this hash value. See now automatically it is MetaMask also opened. So in MetaMask it is showing transaction details, transaction completed successfully. So it is asking now now it is asking to send a transaction. So I press the confirm button. See here, transaction is pending. That means transaction takes some time to complete. Yes, now transaction completed on December 8th. This is the transaction. So it is showing transaction details from this account. The transaction happened to this account. So this account means this is the smart contract account number. So every transaction after deployment, it is initialized with account number. So from my account, transaction happened to this smart contract. So gas used this many 52239. So then here if you press this one, Etherscan. Etherscan is a website which shows all the transactions happening in the Ethereum blockchain. So in Etherscan, all our transaction details are successfully stored. So verify here, this is the transaction. Transaction status is success. And 1 minute ago, this transaction completed. From this account to account, transaction fees. So if you want to see in this transaction, what data stored. For example, this is the input we sent in this transaction. So input, it will show in different formats. If you want to see original data, use select here UTF-8. So if you see UTF-8, it is showing this is the hash value we stored in this transaction. So compare this transaction, this hash value Q starts with a QMF, and you see in where here also you verify. This is also QMF. So verify this hash value with the hash value stored in the blockchain. So QMF starting and ending is FBQ. So verify here also, starting with QMF and ending with the FBQ. So that means it is successfully deployed into the blockchain, and transaction details are showing in the Ethereum Etherscan website. Etherscan is the website which shows all the transactions happening in the Ethereum blockchain network. It is open to all. Everybody can verify their transaction and transaction details. So now if you want, you can verify original data from IPFS. Here only we can able to see only hash value. If you want to see original data, then go to the here and you copy this link, copy, and you open new terminal and you paste here. So that means now we are opening original data from IPFS, not from local system. See, it is showing original data, whatever we uploaded into the blockchain. So this is the advantage of the using IPFS here. So here, this is the file we retrieved from IPFS, not blockchain. So blockchain stored only hash value of this file. But if you want to retrieve original data, we can retrieve from IPFS. So IPFS is also, it is not a central server. It is also decentralized. IPFS works on decentralized blockchain. So definitely there is a security for our data. Nobody can able to see our original data stored into the IPFS. Decentralized, that means our data is split into multiple parts, and a different part of our data stored in different computers. So nobody knows whole data can able to retrieve and verify. So this is a presentation of how to create DApps. See, if you how I created means this DApp. If you want any doubts, these are the useful YouTube link here. If you go through this, definitely you can also create this type of blockchain DApps. So with this, my presentation is over. Mainly today, I concentrated on how to use the blockchains for research purpose, not for cryptocurrencies. So blockchains can be used for mainly for transparency purpose. Transparency means all data, whatever happening, all transactions happening in the Ethereum network can be publicly seen by everybody. If one person perform any illegal transaction, that can be observed by all other persons present in the network. So nobody can do false or illegal transactions without knowing to others. So blockchain provides more transparency. This is the advantage of using blockchain for other areas rather than cryptocurrencies. So thank you. If you have any doubts, you may ask.
Dear participants, do you have any queries?
Yeah, yes, regarding sir, Lakshmi Narayan sir. Hello sir, Lakshmi Narayan sir.
Sir, tell me, sir.
Sir, regarding you use
Sir,
no,
tell me,
that,
sir.
yeah, you regarding now use no D app, that is open source, no? The PEC D app.
Yes, sir. Every code is present. If you want, I will show you.
Okay.
Code
Okay.
is everything is open source. You can
Okay.
you can modify this code as per your requirements. I will show you
Okay.
code also.
Sir, this is very web app or desktop application, sir. That is use D app, no?
This is initially web app, sir.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
In
Right.
desktop, that means not getting.
I mean, no. Okay. Okay.
And do any part?
It is anywhere we can run, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
And do participants have any other queries?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, on behalf of Computer Science and Engineering Department, I would like to thank Senthilnathan Velu as well as Mr. K. Lakshmi Narayanan to have this session in wonderful manner. Thank you, Lakshmi Narayanan sir, and thank you, Senthilnathan sir.
Thanks, Prakash.
Thank you. And participants, you can join by 2 p.m. After your lunch break, you can join by 2 p.m.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.